Okay, I am back. And if you hear the TV in the background right now, it is on Unseth Pottery. Like I said, I randomly pick people and just listen to some of your videos while I'm working. I don't get to comment, but um, I do get to watch your videos, and then I have to go back and watch it again to comment. So what I'm going to do here is I learned something a while back. Hang on, I need to get, okay, I had to get a little cutter for my handle. And I don't know if this is going to work on this one or not, but I'm going to show you what I've done. So I had this mug, and when I was going to put it into the kiln, I hit it. I think I hit it on a wall, or I hit it on the kiln or something, but I hit it pretty hard, you can see, and it knocked my handle off. Now, it didn't knock the handle off at the join. It knocked the handle off and broke it away from the join. So normally when this happens, we just toss it and we do something else with this. But I've done this in the past, and with my owl mug, hang on just a second. Okay, with this mug, this handle, not this handle, but another handle, I had it already pre-made, and I had it in like a wet box. But evidently my wet boxes suck. So anyways, I had it in the wet box, and it was pretty dry. And every time I use a mug that's in a wet box, it ends up cracking. So while it was drying, it cracked up through here. And I was so upset because I was like, I put all this time and effort into this owl mug, and now the handle cracked. So I remembered I have another mug at work also, and Nat at Mud Magic, had talked a long time ago. This was last year. And she had told me that sometimes you can reattach a handle to a dry mug with just vinegar. So I'm going to share with you what I do. I do it a little different than what she had told me, but she's the one who gave me the idea. So it kind of, what I do kind of like puts a weld onto a handle. And as you can see, I haven't had any issues at all. It reattached perfectly fine. And now I have an awesome mug. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee. So I'm looking to see, okay, I have the camera facing the right way. I have my microphone on. I hope it's working. I have to go through my head with this little checklist because seriously, ADHD kicks in. I get distracted. I don't get focused on everything that I need to be doing or have done. I really need a checklist of everything to do. But I get distracted, and then my phone's the wrong direction, or I forget my microphone, or whatever. You know, it's my squirrel mentality. Nat and I were talking, and I told her I always say squirrel because I get distracted like a dog does when he sees a squirrel. So anyways, this mug, like I said, this was the handle that was on it. So it's completely bone dry. And if you look down inside of it, it's got a little bit of mold and stuff on it, actually, where it was sitting and drying. I think that's what that is. No big deal. I'll clean it out, and it'll go into the bisque fire and fire out. So I have a new handle right here that I've had drying. This is a fresh handle with fresh clay. Now, I just threw this handle together a while ago because I'm just going to do this as an experiment and show you all what I did with the owl mug and with another mug. But I get, so again, if you hear background noise, it's Kim Unseth with Unseth Pottery. Like listening to her and Todd. They're funny, as you all know. I can't imagine that anybody watches me and doesn't watch Kim and Todd. If you're not watching Kim and Todd, you're really missing out. They're an awesome couple. So I take my bone dry, and it is bone dry. Figure out where you want the handle to be. Now, let me move this to the side for a second. I have this little cutter that I got from De La Designs, and I'm going to take it and shape my handle. Okay. So let's bring this back. Set the handle over. And I just get a needle tool. And I go in and start scratching. And really, let me get a mask because we do need to have a mask on when we're doing this because we're working with bone dry clay and we don't want to be inhaling. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you hear me muffled now. Once I get this going and get it wet, then I can take the mask off. But right now, I'm going to go where the handle would go and I'm going to just kind of score it. And I hope you can see. Let me bring you down here a little closer. If I can. There we go. Okay. Okay. So with my needle tool, I'm just going to kind of score. And I'm going to take my vinegar. And when I do handles, I always use like this, this is a specific type of paintbrush that I use initially to put the vinegar on. But I use straight vinegar. So put it on there, let it set a little bit, score a little more. And then I take anything that comes off on the needle like that and I push it back down in there because that's going to form the slip. And the reason that I use vinegar, and I use vinegar, so I'm going to talk to you while I just let this sit. We're going to do this multiple times because what we're going to do is we're going to try and form a weld. We want this to go down deep. So clay, when you use it, it has a positive charge and a negative charge. So we're going all geeky with science. I'm a nerd and I always look into all this kind of stuff. So when you attach the wet clay to the, the leather hard clay and everything, so it has two different charges. And the vinegar helps neutralize that charge. So it helps the handle adhere to the clay. So like a flat clay, and I can't remember what it is, but the flat clay has like, I want to say a negative charge, but I could be incorrect. I would have to look back. I will look back and I'll let you know. But flat clay has one charge. Wet clay, or the end of the clay, the cut clay that's not flat, has a different charge. So when you put vinegar on it, it's an acid. And that acid penetrates it deeply, but it neutralizes the charge so that they adhere. You get a stronger bond with vinegar than you would with slip. And it creates like a micro slip with the clay. So you don't have tons of, here we go, I'm going to do this again. You don't have all this slip that you have to clean off. You've got clay right from what you're working on. So you don't need to make up a slip. You have a micro slip. So when we do this, and we're digging down deeper into the clay each time and letting the vinegar set, we are creating something like a weld. The vinegar penetrates deeply into the clay and gives you a stronger bond. And then because we're scratching and we're putting more vinegar on here, it's creating a weld. And I do this, it just all depends. Could have been doing this down here too. Really, we could take some vinegar and then we don't have to worry about the clay as much. But as we're getting down into the clay, it comes out. So anyways, it forms like a deep weld and it allows the handle to attach stronger. So typically, it shouldn't break at the bond where it adheres. If you're going to break your handle, you would break it like I did away from, because my bond was still there. I had to actually go in and take my needle tool and scrape the bond off and smooth it out where I wanted to put this new handle. So you're going to do this multiple times. I usually do it at least 3 or 4 times and just get a really good amount of micro slip going here and get a good depth and make sure that that the greenware has enough vinegar in it. Now, like I said, when I'm attaching the mug, all I really ever use is a needle tool and this type of paintbrush. I can look up the paintbrush if anybody is interested in it and let you all know what that is. But to me, it scruffs it up and it gives it more of a bond than if I were just using a smooth paintbrush early on. You can see I'm going back up here because I probably didn't have it completely even. Now you don't want to let this dry, but then you want to come over here. Let's move this out of the way for a second. And we're going to go in on our handle and again scratch the handle up. And I kind of do the same thing whenever I'm attaching a handle. I initially scratch it up, make sure I always put that stuff back on, take my rough brush, and it helps the vinegar penetrate. Let it sit for just a couple of seconds. And then I go back in and I scratch it up again so that we get a deeper, the acid goes deeper and we'll have a deeper connection when we attach it. And rarely do I ever have a problem with any of my handles. The only time I have a problem with my handles is when I've stored it in a wet box. And again, I've got to figure that out. I'm not doing my wet box properly. I know that. I'm lazy. ADHD gets me. I go do something else. So, rather than, and I've learned too that on your handles, you want them to be a firmer handle. So now I'm going to, let me see if I can, hang on just a second. I'm going to see if I can move you. Okay. I've got a different angle now and I'm going to try and, let's see if I can. So now that we have those, let's put a little more vinegar on here. One more time, just to be safe. Make sure it's scratched up good. Okay. Let's make sure that you can still see this. And then I'm going to take, let's see if I can do it this way. So if you have your handle a little more firm, don't try to do it with a soft handle, but you're going to wiggle and you won't dent up your handle as much. If you have it too wet, you're going to dent it up. But it's already, I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but it's already adhering. It's adhering good. So we're going to push with our finger, push with our finger, and then we're going to let it sit for just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to put you on a hold and I'm going to go get a thumb rest because I want a thumb rest on this. And we're just going to let this sit and let the clay and the slip, let it just bond together and let it weld. So hang on just a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm trying to find, I got my little thumb rest and I've wiped some vinegar on there to make sure we can smooth out some of the cracks and stuff. And I need to find my dragonfly stamp. Don't judge me. Yes, this whole thing is full of stamps. Let's see. I mean, look at this. All kinds, there it is. All kinds of little stamps in here. I have quite a collection. So, I got the dragonfly. Now. Okay. So, we are going to take the thumb rest. I don't know. Can you see what I'm doing here? Just do it down a little bit. I'm going to make my thumb rest. push my stamp onto it. So now I have a thumb rest. And I'm going to smear a little vinegar on it and smooth out any cracks that I might have. Okay. So we're going to go back over here to the mug and we're going to check. I mean, look, guys, I mean, it is adhered. So I'm going to take a smoother paintbrush and I'm going to go back in where the slip was, the slip that it created and where my scratches were. And I might need to go back in with a needle tool and clean this up just a little bit because part of it's where I was scratching on this bone dry clay. But I mean, there's very little, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's very little to clean up here. And again, I do my handles when I attach them similarly to this. So clean that up. Now again, let's put the mask on because, well, we'll put the mask on anyways because we're going to fix where we would do. Look, guys, I told you I'm trying to learn, and I've got a new thing for my camera so I can get it a better angle. So we're going to scratch again where we're going to put the thumb rest. And you can see I just keep vinegar in a little bitty jar. I have one for dark clay, one for light clay. We're going to do this deep weld again. Smash some of that slip back in there. The micro slip. But I really like this kind of paintbrush when I'm initially starting my attachment. I've tried using the other one. I've tried using different kinds, and I go back to this one every time because it tends to rough it up and form some of that micro slip there. And get your deep weld going there. I mean, it literally is like a weld, as you can see. I have no problems with that handle now. It's pretty snug. And then we're going to scratch. Now this clay here is wetter, so we don't have to go as deep of a weld, but I still do, like I said, I usually do at least twice. Put a little vinegar on, let it set, dig down a little bit more, get that micro slip going, wipe it all back on. Then we're going to take our thumb rest, and this one might be a little big, but we're going with it. And don't know if you can see me again. I'm going to go on the bottom of it and where it attaches to the front. And this is pretty fresh clay here. Wrong paintbrush. Like I said, this rough one just creates a little more of that micro slip. And then do it at least twice on this one. Come back over here. I'm going to do one more time just to make sure. Okay. And then we're going to push it down here. Wiggle and attach. And it's already attached. And we're going to let it sit. I mean, it's already bonded well. So we're going to let it set a minute. You don't have to let it sit very long, but sometimes I let it sit a little bit longer on the other ones. But on this one, since it's already bone dry, go in there and this is pretty wet. So go in and clean it up. And yeah, just like that, we have saved our mug that we were going to throw away or reclaim. Now we have saved it. So now the key to this is drying it. Because you have a bone dry mug and a leather hard handle. Like I said, I just kind of threw this handle together really quick. And I'm very limited on this clay, so I couldn't be very choosy. But anyways, since we have a bone dry mug and we have a leather hard handle, you can tell ADHD is getting me again because I keep getting distracted. You need to dry it very slow. So this needs to go inside of a bin for at least 24 hours. I usually do it longer than that when it comes to this. Let them mold to each other, let them dry slowly, and let the handle catch up with the bone dry mug. And again, like I said, I did that exact same thing to Tootsie here. So that handle was attached to a bone dry mug. And no problems whatsoever. None. So yeah. I hope that helps you all. Maybe save some pieces from getting discarded. And thank you all for joining me. Thanks for trusting me to share some of my knowledge with you all. And wherever you are today, I hope you go out into the world and spread a little kindness. Spread some kindness to this pottery community. And just be kind. Also, if you're watching this, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's free. Just click click subscribe, and then click on the little notification bell. Make sure you set the notification bell to all, so that you get all of my videos, that you don't let YouTube pick it for you. You actually get to decide which videos you watch and don't watch or get to know about instead of YouTube choosing that for you. So make sure you click all, but like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. It really helps my channel. And thank you all so much for helping my channel grow. It means the world to me. My next goal is 500 subscribers. Not exactly sure where I'm at right now, but hopefully I'll be there before too long, and then we'll set another one after that. And yeah, so everybody have a fantastic day. And don't forget to put your mug, I'm turning you, I hope it's not making you sick. I'll show you. Don't forget to put your mug in a bin and cover it up. You can either put it in the bin and cover it up, or you can cover it up with plastic, whatever works best for you. But get it locked in and let it dry very slowly. And I might have the wrong lid on that one, but anyways, everyone take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.